Alright, students, we'll be looking at class exercise 5. Okay, so for question 1, you were told that carbon forms double bonds with each of the group 16 elements, oxygen, sulfur, and selenium. If you look at your data booklet, the periodic table over there, you'll notice that they belong to group 16. Okay, and then you have oxygen in period 2, sulfur in period 3, selenium in period 4. Okay, so then you read on. The double bond is polar. Okay, so the molecules CO2, COS, and carbonyl selenides, the polarities of these double bonds do not necessarily cancel. So this statement looks a bit weird. Do not necessarily cancel. So that means that we have to examine, number one, the shape. Okay, so you were told that they contain, CO2, you know that it's linear because period 2, oxygen group 16, try to draw a dot and cross, it can only take on the linear geometry. Right, so I'm just going to sketch over here. Okay, CO2, so double bond O, double bond O. You know that the dipoles cancel out because if you resolve the vectors in both directions, they are equal in magnitude. So let's say we call this A and A, they cancel out. So that's why you end up with a overall polarity of 0. Okay, then we try to draw COS. So C double bond O double bond S. Okay, as well as COSE. Okay, so we're going to fix the A here. Okay, then for the other two, right, I'm just going to call it B, and I'm just going to call it C. Right, so for COS, obviously the value of A is greater than B because there exists a overall polarity of 0.71. Should be in the direction of oxygen because CO is a more polar bond than CS. How do we know? Because in a lot of cases, or in most cases, electronegativity decreases down the group. Okay, so with that, we are able to tell that A is more polar than B. And what about the next one? For COSE, you notice that the polarity is greater than that of COS. So this is greater than that of COS. So that means that I would expect A to take on a bigger value than C as well. And because there is a greater polarity in the direction of oxygen, you expect carbon selenium double bond to be less polar than carbon sulfur bond. So therefore, the value of B is greater than C. Yep. So with this idea in mind, we're going to answer part A. What factors could account for these observations? So select all that apply. Observation meaning what? Observation above regarding the polarity. Okay, so for A1, CS bond is more polar than CSE. So this is correct because B takes on a greater value than C. So this, yes. CO bond is more polar than CS. This is true as well. If part 1 is true, part 2 must be true because electronegativity decreases down the group. Okay, then carbon selenium bond is more polar than CO, so this is not correct, so it's no. Okay, so that would be the answer to part A, and the explanation I have already by and large explained in my earlier presentation. So for those of you who are still not so sure, basically the way to explain it is it would be helpful if you can show a diagram if possible. Okay, something like what I've done, because I think this approach will make the reader understand what you are trying to convey more easily. And then if you can have something like this will help as well, or you can write it out in words to highlight that electronegativity value decreases down the group, and therefore as you go down the group, the CO bond become less and less polar. Okay, and the evidence is given by the table here, because as the CX bond becomes increasingly less polar, the cancellation of the CO polarity will be reduced, or rather will increase. Yeah, so therefore A minus C here will take on a greater value as compared to A minus B. So therefore the overall polarity of COSE is greater than that of COS. Yep, so with this particular idea in mind, that's how you could deal with question 1, where you are trying to explain how you pick your choices. Okay, then for part C, you're supposed to describe all the intermolecular forces that occur between molecules in CO2, COS, and COSE, and predict which will have the lowest boiling point and which will have the highest. Okay, so it might be easier to answer the question by sort of listing out what we have. Okay, so we have CO2, COS, and COSE. Okay, and then we want to list out the intermolecular forces of attraction. So for CO2 will simply be dispersion. Okay, because there is no dipole moment. So dispersion will be the main interaction. You can also highlight it as instantaneous dipole-induced dipole interaction. That's fine, but dispersion will be a shorter word to write. For COS, because there's a dipole moment, net dipole. Okay, so I'm going to put it as dispersion as well as PD-PD. Okay, same case for COSE, dispersion and PD-PD. Okay, you might have remembered from what we discussed in tutorials that as the electron cloud size increases, right, the probability of forming stronger dispersion forces increase because it is easier for your electron cloud to be distorted. Okay, so this is one of the thought process you can use to help you answer question related to boiling point and relatively non-polar molecules. Okay, so the thought process follows will be like this. So first you identify molecules with a large electron cloud. Okay, so you can highlight the larger, okay, just the larger the electron cloud size is. Okay, so this is the first point. Then the more polarizable it is. Okay, then the probability, okay, of forming stronger and more extensive dispersion forces increased. Okay, and then this will lead to more energy required to overcome the stronger dispersion forces. And then this will lead to higher boiling points for COSE, and then in the certain order. Okay, so this is the whole thought process to help you discuss dispersion forces, which we have gone through during the tutorials as well. Okay, then some students might not get it. Why more polarizable means able to form stronger dispersion forces. Okay, I also highlighted in tutorials, the more polarizable electron cloud is, the more easily distorted. Okay, the more easily distorted and less compact. So for example, if my electron cloud is very huge like this, I can distort it to have an irregular shape. Okay, when you distort it to have an irregular shape, the surface area for contact with other molecules to form dispersion forces actually increases, which leads to stronger and more extensive dispersion forces. Okay, then for a very compact system, it is relatively non-polarizable. So even if another molecule is nearby to distort its electron cloud, the distortion will be quite minimal. Okay, so we can answer this question by looking at the perspective of dispersion forces. What about PD-PD? Are we able to discuss PD-PD? We can if you wish to, because in this particular question, the strength of the PD does increase because of the increased polarity, but you might have heard from me during tutorials when I use HF, HCl, HBl, and HI as an example, that the PD increase or decrease in strength is actually not that significant. What is more significant is the size and hence the polarizability, or whether the electron core is polarizable. So that might be something you want to focus on. But if you wish to, you can also bring this up. You can say that the strength of the PD increases from COS to COSE, and therefore COSE have stronger dispersion forces as well as PD, and that leads to more energy required to overcome the stronger IMF and hence highest boiling point amongst the rest. Okay, so that would be one of the perspective you can take when you answer the question. As long as it's correct, you can answer it in any way, as long as it makes scientific sense. Okay, then we'll move on to question 2. Okay, question 2, you have 2 hydroxybenzoic acids. So given structure here, melting point quite high to 13 degrees Celsius. So very soluble in alcohols. Okay, so highlights is very soluble in alcohols. So question asks you, state the type of intermolecular forces that exist between a molecule of ethanol and a molecule of 4-hydroxybenzoate that allows it to be very soluble. So the focus is very soluble. So the highlight is hydrogen bonding. Okay, hydrogen bonding. If you wish to, you can talk about dispersion. You can talk about the dispersion forces between the ethyl group and the phenol ring. But the main thing here is really hydrogen bonding that allows it to be so soluble. Okay, Ken? So draw a label diagram showing 2 occurrences. Okay, so in order to draw it, I will first have to expand the structure of 4 benzoic acids to include a H as the hydrogen bond acceptor. Okay, and then the carboxylic acid group. COH is misdrawn by some students. This is actually what we call the carboxylic acid group. Okay, so delta minus, delta plus, delta minus, delta plus. Okay, delta plus, delta minus. So when it forms hydrogen bonds, it's going to interact favorably, and then oxygen H. Okay, so once you draw this out, you can label this as hydrogen bonds. Maybe I can draw another one out. Okay, then dash 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 H O H delta plus delta minus, and then I can label the 2 as hydrogen bonding. Basically, hydrogen bonding is the intermolecular forces of attraction between molecules, and they tend to be very high in strength compared to its instantaneous dipole induced dipole interaction that it forms. So therefore it is given a special name and it has some special consideration. Okay, and then for part B, 2-hydroxybenzoic acid is known as salicylic acid, has the same MR, okay, as 4-hydroxybenzoic acid. However, its melting point is lower. You notice that it's actually lower by quite a bit, 60 degrees Celsius thereabouts. And then they ask you why. Okay, so you need a diagram. Usually when they say with the help of a diagram, it is necessary to draw a diagram even if you don't wish to. Okay, because a diagram speaks 1,000 words. So usually if you're not very good at language, it's good to draw a diagram. Okay, it can be shown something like this. Okay, so delta minus delta plus, and then O and H. Okay, so delta minus delta plus. This is the intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Okay, so the reason why salicylic acid has a lower melting point than 4-hydroxybenzoic acid is because intramolecular hydrogen bonds exist within salicylic acid due to the close proximity of the OH and CO2H functional group. So once intramolecular hydrogen bonds takes place, the intermolecular hydrogen bonds between salicylic acid molecules, right, will be weaker and less extensive. Okay, so because it is weaker and less extensive, I will require less energy to overcome the intramolecular and intermolecular. Okay, intramolecular may be quite high, okay, but I will need less energy to overcome the intermolecular hydrogen bonds. Yeah, because in boiling, we are overcoming intermolecular forces between molecules, not within the molecules. Okay, so therefore, the intermolecular hydrogen bonds in salicylic acid is weaker than the intermolecular hydrogen bonds in 4-hydroxybenzoic acid. Yeah, so with that, we come to the conclusion for class exercise 5. Okay, so that will be the end of the class exercise series for chem bonding.